Alright, so let's look at how to create our customers and manage various data. So we go to the business partner screen and we see that the screen basically opens up in add mode. Now we also see that the central portion is having a little scroll bar. Now this might also be because of the screen resolution. So what we can, if we want to give this a little more space, we can either increase our screen resolution or we can click on the menu roll up button. So it basically hides the buttons and gives a little more space to our window here. Alright, so in this add mode, it is ready to create a new vendor or a customer. Alright, so what we can do is create a new customer, and for the sake of simplicity, we'll just give it a code of C0001 and let's give it a name. Let's say we are supplying these auto parts to a company called Gamma Automotives. Now this company further basically trades these items or whatever it does. Now we are not going to bother about business partner groups and subgroups here, but we are going to more focus upon the addresses. So on the address tab, you can see there's a box. Now this is basically the list of addresses that we have for this customer. So every address has to have a unique address ID. Now this can be anything by which you want to remember this address by. Typically it can be a city, assuming that this customer of yours does not have more than one address in a city, or even if that is the case, you can have 1, 2 and so on. So let's say if this customer is in Delhi itself, so I can say this is the Delhi. Now this is the billing type address I am entering, and I can also click this default if I want this to be used as a default address for billing. Alright. Consignee name is used for shipping to some other party, to a consignee, if that is applicable for your business. Otherwise we can leave it blank. And then we can proceed to put in the address. So let's say plot number 123 Shahzadabad industrial area near Mohan Mall, and let's say Delhi, status Delhi, and so on. We can also put in the email ID and the GST registration number in the tax registration number here. Now once we put in the details, we can click on save. Now if you see that the box of address list has this Delhi listed here now. If we want to add more addresses, we can say add new, and it will be ready for us to add more addresses. So let us add one more address. Let's say it has a factory in Ghaziabad. So I will say Ghaziabad here. And this is the shipping address where maybe they want us to ship their goods. And let us say here the address is something like plot number 111 Sahibabad Industry site for and similarly we can put the GST numbers also. So I'll click save again. So we have both these addresses now listed in the addresses, and if we want to put additional details we can put in here, but it's not required right now. So I'll just put in add, click on the add button, and we can see the message below which says business partner created successfully. Right? So if, for example, I didn't have this open, and if I go to my business partners screen again, if I go to the find mode, we'll see we have one customer in our list of customers. We can choose it and we can open the details. So we can have as many addresses as we want and use them for our transactions. Now the other thing that we can do is create a list of contact people that we know in this business. There's another point that we need to understand is that each of the person has to be related to an address. So once we choose an address, then we can put in the contact ID, the name and various details of that person, and then save it accordingly. Now once you do this, do remember to press the bottom update button, because unless you do that, this data will not be persisted on your system. So the update button on the bottom is very important. Alright, we'll come to the price list and other details as we proceed. So this is how we are going to manage our customers' data as far as the addresses are concerned for the transactions.